Hello.
Oh,
Hi,
So,
everybody.
so Carl, do you want to repeat the thing you said just before the show started?
No, I'd prefer to keep that offline if we can.
it's probably for the best.
Yes.
But it was something about having to fly to the Netherlands to get a book signed.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
How you been, Carl? How's your week been?
pretty good. Pretty good. It's been a good week. Busy doing Azure Archie stuff in the day job. Recorded a podcast the other night for the guys at Cables to Cloud. So
Very
they
nice.
got their network architects and ex-Cisco folks who work for people like Aviatrix now. But we talked about cloud, multi-cloud networking, cloud native, Kubernetes, and all sorts of cool stuff. So that should be out in a few weeks. And then, yeah, chatted back and forth with one of the senior solutions architects at Isovalent about their Cilium labs and the map that we'll show you in a little bit. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
What about
Should
you,
see if we
Richard?
can have him on the show at some point.
That would
Yeah,
be good.
get Cilium into 10-minute tech, although we might need to do a series considering Cilium has so many bits
Yes.
that we want to talk about. So
We do
The
a
CNI.
Cilium feature.
The mesh, the Hubble. What else have they got? Yeah, that's at least 3 of them. There's so much more.
Yeah, we're gonna go through that in a little bit, actually.
Very
You
cool.
had some nice thing to show. How's your week been, Richard?
Yeah, good. I've been doing a lot of machine learning, infrastructure as code. Writ a tiny little bit of Python to say hello world. I am working, just so I could test that everything deployed correctly.
Like a print.
Yeah, pretty much print hello world. Yeah, it's still Python, you know.
I know.
getting started with Python 101.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to start somewhere. So getting that to run via machine learning jobs on AKS compute, Kubernetes compute. So that was fun. And then just sort of, just lots of infrastructure as code and figuring out how things should work in this new AI world that we live in now.
Awesome.
Nice. I'm actually wearing my run.ai t-shirt.
We got that from KubeCon in Amsterdam.
Yes.
I remember them. That was some cool bit of software.
I had to come back the next day to get my size. That was that. And it was back and right. Yeah. All right. Nice. Sounds like some good weeks.
Yeah. How about yours?
Been doing some AKS deployments, adding some bicep stuff, experimenting something with bicep. I'm not the bicep hero, so I'm getting acquainted to it. I was always an ARM template kind of person, but it's growing on me. I really like it. Went through some code that Richard wrote in the past, and makes life easier. I like it. I really like it. It's very easy to adapt from ARM templates to biceps. I really like that. And
It's less intimidating, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, definitely, definitely.
I actually went back and looked at some ARM templates the other day, and I was like, I can't read this anymore. And I used to be able to read it. I'm so used to bicep, it just doesn't make sense anymore. But luckily, in VS Code, you can just copy and paste the ARM template in, and it automatically converts it to bicep for me. So it's
that is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and other than that, no, I picked up some sports again the past couple of weeks, so I feel like my body's broken now. So,
see, exercise is going to kill you one day.
Yeah, one day. No, it's good. It's good. Getting used to it again. All right. Good weeks. I think we're ready for some cloud native news.
Yes.
All right.
So what have we got first this week? So CNCF ambassador applications are still open. They're open until this time next month, I think. So if you're contributing to the community around cloud native technologies and cloud native projects, get yourself in there and get yourself applied. When do you find out, Richard? Because you applied, right?
I think it's sometime in end of October or something like that. I can't remember, but it says it all on that website.
Not too long to wait then. That's pretty cool. Awesome.
Not
what about
too
this
long.
one, gents? Experts Live
Yes,
next month.
Experts Live Prague.
Yep. September 18th, Prague. It's where it's all going to happen.
Going to be a select signing, I hear.
Yes, there's. I think from Intercept we sponsored a couple of books for a prize raffle, and then Richard and I will be signing the book that we wrote.
Yep.
So
should be fun.
Yeah, it's a good book.
My handwriting because I can't type it.
Yeah.
So
Are you participating in the dinosaur costume, or
that is Simon?
Simon, yeah. I'm going to film him. I got my GoPro somewhere, and I will be filming.
Live streaming, yeah.
Yeah, we could do, yeah.
We could. I heard rumors that the dinosaur suit is already delivered.
Make sure he doesn't forget it.
Just waiting for some. No, it's delivered. I think it's in Czech already or in Prague.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. No
at least someone's taking it. I think there's no escaping for Simon this time. Nope. But it's dinosaur suit it is.
Awesome. Next up, we had this last week in our news. It's the proposal for Cilium to graduate, become a graduate project in the CNCF. So it's open for public comment. I think we've all added our comments. So like we said last week, while they're not binding votes to get it graduated, the team do look at all the public comments and all the public votes for these things. So as you know, Cilium's an awesome product, fantastic breadth of products actually, which we were talking about earlier. But get in there, add your vote, add your thumbs up, add your heart. That'd be great. While we're sticking on the Cilium topic, this week I've been doing a lot of the Cilium labs. So talking back and forth with one of the solution architects at Isovalent, who are the company behind, one of the companies behind Cilium. I'm working with one of their guy called Raphael Pinson, who's been chatting back and forth with me about this map and allowing it to track your the labs that you complete. So these little hexagons will fill in and it'll track your progress around the map. But basically this map just covers all of the hands-on labs that you can get access to with Cilium, and they're all free, which is awesome.
And you get little badges as well, don't you? That are shared on Credly.
So, yeah, some Credly badges. I've got a couple already. So
I've got one.
The getting started and the network policies. So it's pretty cool. And as we've talked about before, Cilium have the network policy generator website as well that can help you build your network policies, which is really pretty cool.
Yeah, really.
I wasn't aware of the labs map until you showed it.
It's relatively new.
Now.
Fairly new, I think. So work in progress, but still very cool.
Can we put it back up?
Yeah, of course.
Where did it go? All right, yeah. I'm a sucker for the whole fantasy thing, right? So I just saw this like 10 minutes before the show. Like, this is pretty cool. You can go runtime security island, and then we click on this, and can we click on it? Yes, we can click on it.
Yep.
And it will your B will go there, and you will be redirected to a page like getting started. You can sign up. You can start doing it. But it will also, if you want to do the cloud network engineer path, you can click on it, and it will show you which ones you have to do to get there. I think that's pretty good. It's a very creative way to go about your e-learning experience. I really like it. It kind of makes you want to just do it to tick the boxes and the hexagons on the map, right?
Yes.
I like it.
Like Pokemon, I want to collect them all.
Yeah, we're the Ash Ketchums of Cilium.
Can you hover over the pirate ship?
What was that? The eBPF ship.
So that's getting started. Yeah. So I did that lab the other day. It's getting started with eBPF. So it just talks about what eBPF, so it's hard to say, what eBPF can do and how it interacts with the kernel and how it's secure and all of that good stuff. So it's really interesting.
Yes,
and it references that book a number of times because Liz Rice wrote that book.
Just, can we remove it? Yeah. We need to put the faces back.
There we go.
You need this book. It's a really, really good book. Well, you just said it referenced in the learning material, but Liz Rice wrote a really good book on learning eBPF, going from the very basics to the more advanced stuff. So, I really like the book.
Very, very cool.
And we have a signed copy, so that's why I like
We
it
do.
as well.
Yes. I
Also
actually
from
have
Cube.
2 copies. I bought one, and then I got the free signed one at KubeCon. So yeah, very good book.
All right.
I like it that much. I have 2.
So yeah, last in the news items then for this week before we get on to our next segment is a project that I haven't really used before, but gone through the CNCF news this morning where we see that Cube FS is proposed for graduation. So this is only the pull request has only been created in the last few days. So it's still very early. It's not open for public comment yet. But if you're a user of CubeFS, it's coming from they're proposing that it goes from incubation into graduate project. So pretty cool.
And what is KubeFS?
File system storage connected for Kubernetes, right?
It's file system storage on Kubernetes like HDFS. It's got HDFS support. It's got POSIX support. I think it also leverages Kafka at some point. I haven't played with it. I have played with similar configurations, just not on Kubernetes, but it worked with some HDFS stuff. You can do standalone distributed storage. It's a very, especially for enterprises, it's something that they use a lot, whether that's in traditional IT or now in more cloud native environments. Would probably be good to do a 10-minute tech on KubeFS at some point, as none of us ever used it. We just install it, try it, and see what makes it tick, right? I mean,
have a little
Yeah.
10-minute tech first look.
yeah, that'd be a nice demo.
Yeah.
If I'm just waving my arms around, I've got a fly in here, and it's just really annoying.
Nice.
Redacted out of me. All right. ready for the next part?
Yes.
Here are.
Oh, all right, because we've got 10 minutes in tech coming up, and I wonder what it is about. Let's go. Oh, he did do it. All right. So do we need to guess what it's about?
Yeah.
I mean, the title kind of gives it away.
Yeah.
If we'd coordinated, Richard and I would have went and got mine out of the garage and we could have both been sitting here.
It could have been fun, yeah. I just thought of it
Does it
before
work?
the live stream. This one might work. It's on.
Oh,
there we
you're
go.
so creative.
Yeah.
You're such a showman.
Turn it off.
You've got to wear
We'll
that
take
for
it
the
off
next
now.
10 minutes.
No. That's done. The joke's over.
All right. Well, the title already gave it away a little bit. We're gonna talk about Headlamp. Got my screen shared. It's coming up when I click it. There we go. There it is. All right. So Headlamp, I think Richard already used it in a demo before, or at least we saw a little bit of it. Richard also passive-aggressively tweeted on it a couple of times now because he's such a big fan. But I think maybe it's got to do with the theme. No, it's a very, very nice solution. It is a CNCF project. I don't know the dates from the top of my head, but Richard probably does.
It was, I think, May the 13th, if I remember right. I did have it open on the tab, but I've lost the tab of this year. It's in sandboxing.
All right, yeah, no. So, but it's a CNCF project, and it is what it says, a user-friendly Kubernetes UI. We've seen a lot of Kubernetes UIs. I think Lens is one of them as well.
Yes.
That I think the open source version is kind of free, but then the other one is paid. This is a very, very free solution.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're just going to install it and get it to work and see what does it bring us.
Awesome.
We're installing it on Windows. So I'm using chocolatey Shoko install.
Nice.
So what we're going to do is Shoko install Headlamp. And live demos, let's see if it works. So sure, we just say yes to everything. And it's going to download. Obviously, I tried this before, so the download was already there. It's going to install Headlamp, and then it should pop up in my start menu at some point. So what it should provide is with access to a cluster. It does things like multi-cluster management. You can have multiple clusters. You can see it says, "Hey, I've installed it." I'm just going to clear this for now, and then hopefully when I open my start menu and I start typing Headlamp, it should pop up with a couple of seconds, and it did. I will move it to the screen. There we go. Oh, there we almost go. There we go. There we go. This is Headlamp, and as you can see, what a color scheme! And just for Richard, we'll do this. So it really fits the Pixel Robots theme. So now we know why Richard is such a big fan.
Is that the right? Is that the right yellow?
It's close. I don't know.
You couldn't tell. Well, I think yours, yeah, it's a bit off, but close enough, right?
Close enough.
So what I have here is Headlamp. It's installed. Very important. You can install it locally, which I did, which makes it easy for having multiple clusters. It will read your kubeconfig file, but you can also install it on your cluster and have it available as a web page. So you can just do it per cluster. I've deployed a cluster especially for today. Already did some testing, as you can see. So stuff broke, stuff didn't break. By default, it will show you the latest events. You see the average CPU usage, the memory usage, the amount of pods running. We can look at the namespace, the basic stuff that you can do. But what I really, really like is that it's really, really responsive and really up to date. As in, something happens, it's there. What we see, if you're logged into Kubernetes and you're tailing your events, and you also get that live view where you just see stuff coming by. If you use other tooling like Log Analytics, you always have to wait for the ingestion into the Log Analytics workspace to happen, or any other kind of storage. I mean, you could also do Elasticsearch or whatever you want to use. There's always time it takes for ingestion. This is live. That's what makes it cool. That's also what makes it a very nice go-to solution when you're troubleshooting a cluster or when you're upgrading a cluster and just want to keep track of events. So instead of having multiple terminals open with logs coming by, this is a very nice, nice window to have open to just see what's happening, to troubleshoot and all that stuff. And I can see my nodes. You can see I have 3 nodes currently. You can see what version of Kubernetes they're running. I can see my custom resource definitions. I can check my workloads, and I can do that on pods, replica sets, all the basic stuff. Even my storage, we've got volumes, and we've got PVCs. They will show up here. But what's very cool is we've got this little button here, apps. Let's say I want to install something on my cluster. It's like a mini marketplace. And it's not that many, because if I'm going to start scrolling, I'm page 1 of 487. So there's plenty of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a name. We're just going to test this. And up until today, I have not used this solution. I've seen Richard use it. And yesterday we decided, all right, maybe I can do the demo and just see what happens. I haven't used it. I've used it for about 30 minutes. Maximum, and I'm already very excited on how easy it is to use it. So if I'm going to create a namespace before Karl loses it, and I'm going to deploy stuff to the default namespace, so we're not going to do that. Let's call it CN Weekly 1. So I've got my namespace here, and then we're just going to remove this. So right now, if I go to back to my cluster and click namespaces, then there we go. It's already there. It's live. If we go to apps, and let's do a MongoDB deployment. So I want to deploy MongoDB onto my cluster. I can go through all of this. I can click, no, I don't want to do this. This is the minimal editor. You can also have your own deployment, so I can even put in my own stuff here.
So you probably could have done the Kubernetes namespace via YAML there as well, I guess, instead of doing kubectl namespace.
Yes, you could. Cool. What was I going to do? Mongo, I think. I click Mongo, MongoDB, install. So if I click install, you can see I can come up with a release name. I'm just going to call it CN Weekly MongoDB. I can select a namespace. And I'm going to see if this works, because I was so excited about this. Let's create another namespace. Let's do weekly 2. And now click. Look at that. I just lost that. I just love that you don't have to go out of
Zero delay. That's very cool.
But it's not like pre-populated. Like usually when you go to a web UI, you click on something and then I forgot that storage account.
Yep.
And then you add the storage account, you deploy the storage account, you go back to your deployment thing that you had open on Azure or somewhere else. And you have to close it and start it again because the storage account is not in the list. This is, maybe I'm just overexcited about this, but I just really, this is people thinking about, thinking about a solution. I like that. But we're going to be deploying to CN weekly 1, and I'm just going to deploy 13.16.3. I'm not a MongoDB person, so I have no idea what the difference is between the versions. It doesn't matter. And we'll give it a MongoDB deployment 1. I'm just going to click install.
So looking at that, it's basically pulling the Helm information either from a repository or direct from the chart stuff, giving you all that values file where you can edit it live in this UI and then install it. So that's really cool to see.
And you can see I clicked install, and there it is. Available, progressing, just waiting for it. You can check the pods. It's running, but it's definitely running. So you see how live it is. The status updates are just, you don't have to keep refreshing. There's not even a refresh button here. I mean, you can do a reload button to reload the whole Headlamp window, but it's just there. I really like it. And you can just, if I, I don't know, just speechless how easy this is. It's just so easy to install. I don't want to bash Lens, but I used that before, and I had to jump through a couple of hoops to get it working properly, especially when the authorization changed on how we need to authenticate, especially to AKS. None of that. It just works out of the box. It just works. And if I've got my parser, if I delete that namespace, the one we created, it will also automatically just disappear. It will just be gone at some point. But I like it. There we go. It's gone. I mean, this is really great. And I can also, I can click on this. I can inspect it. It's got all the information. If you do the kubectl logs or the kubectl describe, all that information is here. And the good thing is, if you do it through command line, and I know we're always very wary of using interfaces or UIs because, you can always do more on the command line. But normally, you would have to, so it's controlled by this replica set, and then you do kubectl and then get the replica set and check that. I can just, so it's controlled by this one, and that's this deployment. I like it. It's very snappy. It's very intuitive, for me at least. I really like that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I
also like that if you go to your nodes as well, you can actually call in and drain them as well, which is really nice to see.
We can do this. We can we click on that? I've not tried that before.
Yeah, so if you go to the top,
we do edit it. We edit it.
Like that can edit the manifest of the node, which you don't really want to do. Yeah, but if you click on that, will drain it, and then the that will cordon it as well. So you can cordon your nodes and that, so you don't have to cordon. You can delete it and everything like that. So
we're going to drain it. We're going to drain it and see what happens. I mean, unauthorized, probably don't have the right stuff. But no, I like how that's how that works. Scheduling disabled. We can see that the cordoning worked. Nice. Yeah. Very nice.
It's really nice. I like it when you go into the security section as well. You can see your service accounts, your roles, your role binding, so you can help with all that kind of troubleshooting, which is nice. And you can obviously just click through and see what you need and see if there's any events.
Yeah, roles, role bindings.
So you talked about troubleshooting there, and that leads on to the question that I had then. So let's talk about use cases for for Headlamp. Then, so if you're deploying environments and stuff, you're not going to do it from the UI, right? You're going to do it from your GitOps or from your pipelines or whatever. But this fits perfectly in for your platform ops teams or your service desk teams that are supporting these clusters, right? Gives them that visibility and maybe takes away a bit of that intimidation and that fear from jumping into the shell to be looking at logs and to be looking at configuration. So, any thoughts on use cases?
One good thing is it follows RBAC as well. So if because it uses your kube config, if you've only got permissions to read stuff, you only get permissions to read stuff in here. It's not going to give you the full cluster admin as well. So
yeah,
it's really cool that I can do that as well.
Yeah, and I think back to what you said, Karl, on right, you won't be deploying through the UI. Normally, you've got your GitOps, you've got all that stuff set up. What I like about this is, hey, I want to play a bit with Cert Manager, or I've got my testing cluster. I've always got that little bicep somewhere on my computer. Hey, I want to test something on Kubernetes, deploy a cluster, and then I need an Nginx, and I don't want to go to the repo, so I want to quickly do something. I want to quickly set up a demo. This is amazing. Like just play with some stuff, see if it works. It will install it for you. It doesn't require you to search which Helm repo you don't have to do Helm repo add and then forget one and then Helm repo update and you say, oh, it's not there. And that's fine for production because you want to have all that sorted and absolutely nail that stuff because it's production deployments, it's doing GitOps, you want that. But for testing, this is amazing.
And another cool feature about Headlamp is if you don't like the logo, and I don't understand why you wouldn't, it's actually pluggable and you can actually, it's full of plugins and extensibilities. So you can actually change and rebrand the whole thing to your own company brand as well. So then it could be like your own internal tool.
That's on the website as well, I think. I think you can.
Yes.
There's some adaptable UI and branding. There you go. So you can make it your own.
Yep, which is really cool.
Very good solution. Very good solution. That was also my demo. I mean, I can talk about another 30 minutes on how excited I am about this solution because I never used it before. But I think we all got the point, and we all saw how easy it is to install, to use, and to extend.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I say, I use it daily, so I like it a lot. Not just
is there much usability differences between installing it locally and installing it on your cluster, or is it pretty much the same product?
No, but if you install it on a cluster, it's really scoped to that cluster. I think for us, people working with multiple clusters, multiple customers, I really like the standalone version. That would be my preference. But I mean, it's also, it's open source. You can read all about it. You can pretty much change whatever you want. So I think you just have to tailor it to your needs. But out of the box, very solid.
Yes,
very cool.
All right,
it really is good.
I think that's it. That went my screen.
There we go.
Yeah,
very
something
good demo.
else we need to discuss. Thank you. The demos work today, no errors. Well, one error, unauthorized, because it follows the RBAC.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
So what are we talking about next week?
Yeah, I was going to ask that. I don't know. kubefs?
Yeah. If we've got time, maybe we can look into it and then do it. But I don't know. Maybe we should get Karl to reach out to a Cilium friend and maybe get them on.
Oh, that'd be good.
Come and talk about one aspect of Cilium
for 10 minutes only.
10 minutes only. And that's the thing. There's, like we said earlier, there's so many aspects of what Cilium is doing, from the CNI and the observability and the security side of things. So it's a pretty cool project. So maybe we just have to scatter a few 10-minute tech sessions to catch up with all that Cilium are up to. But maybe I'll reach out and see if he wants to be on next week. Or
we could do that. We could plan a range or a couple of Cilium 10-minute stack in a row, and we just go through the different because it's way too big to just do one. I mean, one thing or one little part of everything that you can do in 10 minutes is already a challenge, and I will applaud everyone who can do it. But I mean, if we do a couple of shows about that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right.
Awesome. I'll reach out. I'll let everybody know.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Right, everyone. I guess we hit the 30-minute mark, so
Yes.
good time to end.
And with that,
Yeah.
we're out. Thank you for
Yeah,
watching.
thanks.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
See you, everyone.
Bye bye.